What if I told you that a basic $5 piece of glass could do the job of a $5,000 medical machine? Every time someone gets a cancer biopsy, the lab puts a tiny sample on a cheap glass slide. It costs about $5. But to figure out how to actually destroy that cancer, doctors need a much more advanced test. They need a highly detailed molecular map to see if the patient's immune system is actively fighting the tumor or just ignoring it. To truly understand why this is a game changer, you have to look at how we fight cancer today. We have a miracle treatment called immunotherapy. Instead of pumping the body with toxic chemicals, it acts like a massive power-up for your own immune system. But it only works if your tumor is what doctors call hot. A hot tumor means your immune cells are swarming the area, ready to fight. Immunotherapy gives them the weapons to win. But if the tumor is cold, your immune cells are completely ignoring the cancer. They are walking right past it. If a doctor gives you immunotherapy for a cold tumor, it is completely useless. Doctors desperately need to know if your tumor is hot or cold, and the only way to see that invisible war is with that highly advanced molecular map. The problem? That advanced map costs thousands of dollars per sample. It requires specialized equipment that most hospitals on the planet simply do not have. Because of this, millions of patients miss out on life-saving data. Enter Microsoft, Providence Health, and the University of Washington. They teamed up and asked a crazy question. What if an AI could just look at the cheap $5 slide and perfectly predict what the expensive test would show? They built an AI called GigaTIME. So how exactly does an AI look at a cheap piece of glass and see a $5,000 map? Think of it like a master detective looking at a blurry black and white photograph from the 1920s. A normal person just sees gray shapes, but the detective notices the exact shadows, the texture of the fabric, the way the light bends. And from those tiny clues, they can perfectly guess the exact colors of the clothes and the sky. GigaTIME does exactly this, but with human biology. It looks at the simple pink and purple shapes on that $5 slide. It searches for microscopic patterns in the cell structure that human eyes are physically too weak to see. And it uses those tiny clues to predict exactly what the immune proteins are doing inside. They trained GigaTIME on 40 million cancer cells. For every single cell, they showed the AI the cheap slide and then showed it the expensive map. Over and over, millions of times. They essentially taught the AI to look at basic shapes and see invisible biological secrets. But the true genius of GigaTIME isn't just about helping new patients today. It is about unlocking the past. You see, hospitals have massive basements and filing cabinets filled with millions of these $5 slides, gathered over decades of medical history. Until now, that data was basically dead. But with GigaTIME, researchers can go back in time. They can take a slide from a patient who had cancer 10 years ago, run it through the AI, and instantly generate a $1,000 molecular map of their tumor. This means scientists suddenly have access to the largest, most detailed medical database in human history, practically overnight. They can look at decades of cancer survivors and finally understand exactly why their immune systems won the fight, all without doing a single new biopsy. Once the AI learned the pattern, they took the training wheels off. They unleashed GigaTIME on over 14,000 real cancer patients across 51 different hospitals. These patients only had the cheap $5 slide on file. In a flash, the AI generated roughly 300,000 highly detailed virtual molecular maps. It covered 24 different types of cancer. The results were so flawless they were just published in the prestigious journal Cell. The AI discovered over 1,200 hidden connections between immune cells and patient survival that human scientists had never seen before at this scale. When they tested the AI against a completely blind database of 10,000 more patients, its predictions matched reality almost perfectly. But what did the AI actually find in those 300,000 virtual maps? When GigaTIME analyzed those 14,000 patients, it didn't just confirm what doctors already knew. It started finding secrets. The AI discovered exactly 1,234 brand new, statistically verified connections. It found hidden links between the way a single immune cell behaves, specific genetic mutations, and whether or not a patient actually survived. It mapped out exactly which immune cells need to be standing next to each other to defeat specific types of tumors. This is the exact kind of data that pharmaceutical companies need to invent the next generation of cancer-killing drugs. The AI was connecting dots that human scientists couldn't connect, simply because no human brain can hold 300,000 molecular maps in its memory at the same time. But here's the most mind-blowing part of this entire story. Microsoft didn't lock this AI behind a massive corporate paywall. They didn't sell it for billions. They open sourced it. Right now, any underfunded cancer lab in the world with a dusty archive of cheap glass slides can run these $1,000 tests for free. They just need a computer. By making this technology open source, Microsoft has completely changed the math of human survival. Imagine a small, underfunded clinic in a rural town halfway across the world. They don't have millions of dollars for specialized lab equipment. They don't have teams of world-class scientists on staff. All they have is a basic microscope, a stack of $5 glass slides, and a standard computer. Yesterday, their patients would have to rely on guesswork. Today, that same clinic can download GigaTIME. They can give their patients the exact same cutting-edge immune profiling that a billionaire would get at a luxury hospital. This is the ultimate promise of artificial intelligence. It takes the most exclusive, expensive knowledge on the planet and makes it virtually free for anyone who needs it. AI isn't just generating text and videos anymore. It is democratizing human survival. If you want to keep tracking the technologies that are actively rewriting our future, hit that subscribe button. This is the 2040 Almanac, and I'll see you in the next one.